Hi, I'm Gypsy Jean, and if this is the first time you've come to my channel, hello and welcome. And if you have seen my other videos, thank you. I appreciate you, and I hope you keep coming back. And it takes me about a month or a few weeks to receive a message. Then I'll talk to it with people and get their feedback or pay attention to the groups and the people that I'm in. And the message, if it is valid and it is something that I need to actually make a video on, it will be repeated in these conversations. And I'll listen in public. Like, I'm not trying to stalk and like privately lurk up on their conversations, but if it's a repeated theme that keeps coming out, then that affirms my message that this is the next video that needs to be filmed. Now, I am outside in the woods, so you'll hear bees buzzing, the dog whining or panting, the cat tearing up stuff, or just, freaking out and running all over the place. And I can't really see my image on the screen, so I'm not sure what this video even looks like because it's so sunny. The screen is just shadows, and I've got it up as bright as possible. But, okay, we need to talk about no. The word no. And it's been a repetitive theme for a long time, so I think it's very important to have this conversation. Now this, I'm gonna just do a disclaimer right away. This is not permission or a tool for you to be a narcissistic jerk and just be selfish with yourself and your time. Okay, you can do whatever you want to, because as I've stated in my other videos, you are an autonomous, sentient being, and you can make the choices to do and be whatever you want. However, my goal is to raise you up a little bit, kind of help you elevate yourself to a higher level of being. All right, so no. The biggest thing is, just because someone is supposed to be our blood family, we allow them to continually control us, abuse us, do as they wish, do things to appease them or make them happy, or because they will or will not like a certain thing we can't do. That's my biggest problem. And even in our friendships, okay? And I've had a lot of experiences of this lately, so it's also another affirmation that this is a message that does need to be talked about. I've actually been taken advantage of because someone was supposed to be my friend, and I didn't stand up for what I thought was morally right, or what was best for the community. And I let this go on for about 3 years. I was naively, because I still have hope and I still try to look for the best in things, and we should all be that way. But we also, and another thing I really need to, I should work on, because I'm a human being and I still do make mistakes, is recognizing the toxic signs and the control earlier. That's my problem. I just think it's, that person's having a crisis and in judgment, I guess, and I was hoping that by my being the anchor or the peaceful influence, I could raise that person up in a level of thinking and maybe help them let go of their confidence issues or control, help them relax their desire and their need to control everyone and everything, and their insecurities, which make them controlling, which make them freak out over things that are going on in their mind that are not reality, like some business in California selling natural goods, so they're a threat to their personal business here in Florida. And if you know me, I do try to share and support all holistic, for the most part, holistic people and businesses and practices, and anything that's natural healing or metaphysical. I try to support everyone, and I call it in the community, outside the norms. And so I had one particular friend that I was trying to help raise up in her business and her personal life and her emotional and psychological being, and help her understand that it is more healthy to support your community and your fellow fellow beings in this particular journey you're taking. And I know when we start a business or when we start out doing something that we feel is specifically us, we tend to get, can you see my face? We tend to get a little protective and a little jealous and a little competitive, which is understandable. But we also have to realize there is a time to be that, and there's a time to be supportive. And if you're supportive in the future, you may or may not have it returned by that particular person, but you're releasing that higher vibrational energy. And it's another thing I have to remind myself, because I'm like, no, I'm not advertising your whatever same thing I'm doing on my page, because then that'll take away from me. But if someone would learn better with this person and connect with this person, and this person is the key to raising them up better or, differently than I can, then it is for the person, not for the money. You get what I'm saying? And the one I'm talking about in particular, because one example, it was about the money. And I didn't understand until I took a step back and I got tired of, I guess, fighting or being the anchor or being the balancing or the ballast on that whole situation. And I took a step back and I'm like, yes, everything is actually money driven. Everything. There's nothing this person would do unless it has a direct benefit of her or money. So I took a step back and then I spoke out about it privately, because I don't like to cause public drama. And I try not to talk negative about this person still if people ask me questions, because when you try to tell someone that another person that they think is more powerful or is a positive influence, they're not so awesome, the most common reaction is a knee-jerk defensive reaction, because we feel like, oh, we're making a bad judgment, so it can't be true. That's where it comes from. A lot of things that happen to us come from our ego. And again, I'm a human being. I still have one. I'm still working on it. You never stop learning and evolving, even after you die. In this life, in this physical incarnation. So that's one. So, that caused people that I thought were my friends, which this will happen in cycles throughout your lifetime, and no matter how old you are, unfortunately. Somebody you think is your friend, you may challenge that person because they're doing something ethically not so awesome, and then you probably lose that friend and some other people that you thought you were friends to. And that's fine. That's weeding out and shedding the excess that you don't need. It hurts. And I go into seclusion and I shut down to process it and heal it most of the time. That's my healing process. And it hurts because you're like, oh, I'm so stupid. How did I not see it? How did I not know it? But it's a learning process. It's a growing pains. Other things I see or that has happened to me recently, a family member will die and you may decide to, and this is a 2-in-1 thing here, you may decide to post a goodbye on your Facebook or social media, and then your family's not going to like that and they're going to try to make you take it down or whatever. And this is a perfect example because I see friends and family doing this to each other all the time, and it gets under my skin. Okay, first of all, social media belongs to that person. Now, if they're newer, they don't quite understand it. It is a good idea to say, hey, that's now on the internet and everyone can see it and blah, blah, blah. Do you want this happening in 20 years? Is this going to bother you telling this or explaining this to your children? As an example. Even the little ones in my family know I'm kooky and I'm weird, so nothing's going to surprise them or shock them, or they'll just be like, yeah, okay. Because I'm me. I don't try to hide who I am unless I don't know you, and then I'll watch you for a while first. I'll feel your energy first. But social media is yours. You decide, you may want to think about before what you post. You decide what goes on your social media. This is your outlet. This is your platform. You post whatever the hell you want, how you want it, when you want it. And if somebody's got a problem with it, that's their problem, okay? You know, don't use it as a tool to hurt or be vindictive against people. Then, you know, whatever, you're asking for it then. Some people do. That's my lemon water. It's got a few drops of pure organic essential oils and some fresh slices of lemon and agave nectar, organic agave nectar called Modova, Modova, something like that. That's my favorite brand. It's the dark one, and it's delicious. So basically, it's lemonade, but it's really healthy and it's delicious. And there's no sugar in it. Okay, just in case you were wondering. So that's one thing I see is social media when sisters or family members, somebody's grieving or they have a problem and they express it on social media or Facebook or whatever because that is their platform. That's what they want to release it. That's how they feel like they want to release it. And there's people all around the world that can interact with you and pray for you and help you raise up your situation. And then a family member is like, oh, you don't need to be posting that. That's not right. Okay, that's their Facebook. That's the problem I have. That's their Facebook. I don't care if you're the parent or you're the sibling. That's their Facebook. If you don't want to see what they're posting, unfollow, unfriend, whatever, block. Private message them and say, hey, you know, I don't want people knowing about our drunk, touchy-feely Uncle Jeff. It's very embarrassing and it's traumatizing to me. Could you please take that down? Now, if you would approach it that way because it's something that could affect people in a negative way and then, you know, whatever, fine, okay. But don't be trying to be like, you got to take this down. Okay, that gets under my skin. And that's happened to me, and I've unfriended family for that because it's my social media. It's my platform. And I don't care if you don't like it, in a sense, but also, how dare you try to control me and tell me what to do? It's an experience I'm having, and you do not have the right to dictate what someone's experiences are valid in their way. Okay. So that's another one. And I get this, oh, my family doesn't think so. Okay, you're good enough, you're smart enough, you're worthy. You have the say on what you do and how you feel and who you are in your life. And if your family does not approve of it, I understand that. Some of it could be for concerns for your well-being, your health, or whatever. But if they're like, oh, you can't wear that in public, you shouldn't be eating that, that's not the proper way to behave, watch your mouth. Bye! You do you, what is healthy and what is positive and what helps you grow. And if they're not on board with being cool and supporting you, and you're not on board with supporting them, and I don't care who they are. I don't care if they're your mother, father, sister, brother. If it's your spouse or your significant other, it's time to be evaluating your choices because you can change that. And I have family I don't talk to because they're toxic and they're poisonous. This is what I mean by the word no. Now, if you're the toxic and you're the poison one, yes, people have the right to cut you out of their life until you get your shit together. You should not be poisoning other people's lives either. So, it goes both ways. Learn to say no. When someone tries to get you to do something that is not in your best interest, is not healthy for you, and it's a toxic situation, no. Block them, take them off your contacts, stop calling them, don't text them, whatever you got to do, separate yourself from them. However, do not use this all-powerful new, I can say no as an ego trip and decide that you don't have to take the trash out anymore. Or you get what I'm saying? There's give and take in every situation. You have to pick your battles. Is this fight or this whatever worth the next 10 years of hearing about it? Do I need to separate myself from them? Are they always causing a problem? Are they always raining on the parade? You know, if it's that kind of deal, that's what I'm talking about. So I hope that you'll give this some thought and figure out some ways that you can be more productive and successful in your life. How you might change your relationship and your attitude towards other people to be a more productive influence on someone else's life. These kind of situations help me reevaluate my thought patterns and my behaviors, and how I could do better myself, and how I can use that not to be, like I said, when this person I was talking about had a problem with everyone else having any kind of similar situation going on, they're attacking her, they were a threat to her, they were a danger to her, they were competition. That made me think of, I could be more open to sharing other people's businesses and learning from, I am now, but I could be more, because you can learn from other people. I know like 10 tarot card readers. We all read differently. We all have different cards. It's really cool to have a chat with them about their cards and show them back and forth. And I get ideas on how to receive and to communicate messages more effectively, and vice versa. You get what I'm saying? So evaluate if it's good or bad for you. Remove it if it's bad. Keep it if it's good. And how can you improve yourself? Thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry this went long. I have an Ask Gypsy Jean group on Facebook. I've got an Instagram and Twitter under Jean's Pet Rock. I think I started Snapchat, but I don't know if I'm actually going to be doing that, because it's a little weird and I hadn't figured it out. Please come back, like, share, and comment. And yeah, until I receive the next message. I do have a few video suggestions, but I'm still working with them. So if you've asked me for a video suggestion and you haven't seen the video, remind me in Messenger on Facebook or whatever. And remind me about it. And because there's one in particular I'm still trying to figure out how to talk about. So I haven't forgotten them, but remind me just in case. All right. Bye.